Eddie Talks Sports, they were talking boxing. Proudly joined as always by Eddie Hearn. How are you doing today, Eddie?
Fantastic, thank you.
So obviously a massive card. Would you say this is probably the biggest card you've worked in your career as a promoter?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you look at the talent, you look at the champions, you look at the depth, I think the best card and biggest card I've ever been involved with.
And before we get into the fights, as we were just talking about a little bit before, these songs that you've been walking out to, yesterday it was something about money, this time it was Wagwan General. What's going on? Have you got a little...
No. I don't request these songs. Like yesterday, they were introducing everybody at the press conference and they had music and I walked out and they played that. So I saw a few comments on social like, this guy's getting a bit big for his boots. Like, I did not request that song or Wagwan General. It's obviously a DJ with a great sense of humour and I'm enjoying it. I want more of it, thank you.
So obviously, let's get into this card. We'll start off with the four main fights. Dubois versus Miller. Are you going to be taking up on your word? You're going to be walking out with Daniel?
No, I don't think you want me to walk out with him, but I'll be supporting him. It's a really good fight. I think both guys are without a victory at world-class level, but Dubois, I think, has proved that he can hang better at that level. But, Miller's a big lump, and I think it's going to be a 50-50 fight.
Obviously, we've seen in a couple of Daniel's previous fights, people have been questioning his heart. Do you think there is an issue with Daniel's will to win? And do you think if Miller tests him, then he could give up?
I mean, it's very difficult for us to stand there and sort of question any fighter's heart. He definitely could have... I mean, in the Joe Joyce fight, we appreciate his eye was injured. You'd still like to carry on. I think for me, the Usyk fight was the one where he stayed on his knee. He let the referee count to 10. But it's a tough game. And I think against Usyk, you also have to understand that he was in well deep. He's 25 years old. He's fighting a pound-for-pound number one. So I actually think that if you put yourself in uncomfortable positions in life, you'll become stronger. And hopefully, through those defeats, he's become stronger. He'll probably, unless he chins Jarrell Miller early, he's probably going to have to show some arsehole tomorrow night, to be honest with you. So, good luck to him.
Then on to the next fight, we've got Dimitri Bivol versus Lyndon Arthur. If the upset happened, do you think this could be one of the biggest upsets in boxing history? Because obviously Bivol, a pound-for-pound great. Lyndon Arthur, obviously a very good boxer, but, many people don't regard him in as high a category.
Yeah, I think it would be a shock. The biggest upset of all time, probably not. But, Bivol is another pound-for-pound guy. I think he'll be too good for Lyndon Arthur. And I think he'll win the fight by stoppage.
And then on to the co-main event, Deontay Wilder versus Joseph Parker. Do you think some people could be possibly overlooking Joseph Parker? Because obviously people are talking about that big fight with Joshua, but Deontay Wilder's, he's only been in there for 2 minutes. Parker's been way more active.
Yeah, I think it's a tough fight for Wilder. I think particularly with the inactivity. Not sure where his head's at either. People question AJ's mentality. This is a guy who's, self-proclaimed checked himself into some hallucinogenic centre in Alaska or something. So it's an interesting look. I think if Parker can get into the fight and stay and move and don't stand still, I think he's got a chance.
And obviously you've had a couple of choice words for Deontay Wilder this week. What happened? Because after the first press conference in London, you got that picture on the flight.
Yeah, I still get on well in respect to him. I shake his hand, but every now and again he says something, I can't... He in his head, he thinks that I have been ducking this fight for years. Absolute rubbish. We've always tried to make this fight. We're trying to do it again. But he should focus on Joseph Parker because I know Parker's there to win.
And then finally, Joshua versus Wallin. How does AJ go about getting over Wallin? Because obviously he is a very tricky southpaw, good opponent, only lost once.
I think he's just got to use his attributes, which is his size, his power, his speed, his combination punching. And I think you're going to see a violent display tomorrow night.
And then if Joshua and Wilder both do get those victories and that fight happens, when are you looking at making it? Because we've heard rumours...
There's talk of March, but, both guys have got to win tomorrow night. And both guys have got to win unscathed, which is very difficult to do in a competitive heavyweight fight. So we'll see. First things first, take care of business tomorrow.
And last question, Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. It seemed like that's broken down. Has it broken down? And if so,
yeah, it has. Chris Eubank Jr. wanted too much money. That's okay. That's his prerogative. We'll announce Conor Benn's fight in the next 24 hours. He'll fight on February the 3rd, and then he'll fight again in April in a bigger fight. And just looking to get him some momentum now and see if Chris Eubank Jr. wakes up.
Thank you very much for your time.
Cheers, thank you.